Greetings to our melanated people around the world. It's with a joy, it's a blessing. It's an honor to be out here in nature and greeting you, bringing a message from the ancestors to you, a message of emancipation, a message that would set you free. That's the reason why I want to speak today concerning Neville Goddard mentor, who's Abdullah the Black Mystic from Ethiopia, our ancestor, and Wayne Dyer. Now the reason why I chose to speak about Abdullah and Wayne Dyer is because many people are quite familiar with Wayne Dyer, but few are familiar with Abdullah, who was Neville Goddard's mentor. And many people today are quite familiar with Neville Goddard. Yet there are those who will say that little was said of Abdullah. But many fail to realize that our ancestors always walk with the language of symbology and always do things through symbols. So Abdullah's silence was greater than any of Neville Goddard's lecture, because why? There could not have been a Neville Goddard, the lecturer, without an Abdullah, because when he met Abdullah, he was only a dancer. Now, this is where I come to Wayne Dyer. Many of the things that Wayne Dyer teach, you can trace them right back to Neville Goddard's lectures, and those lectures that Neville Goddard have used over the years, he acquired the knowledge from Abdullah, of whom he studied with for over 5 years. And Wayne Dyer, I've never heard Wayne Dyer one day mention Abdullah, our black ancestor, born and raised in Ethiopia. And Wayne Dyer have helped PBS raise over $150 million because he had a knowledge of the law of consciousness. And Abdullah taught Neville Goddard the law of consciousness. Therefore, my brothers and my sisters, if we would learn to apply the law of consciousness in our life and deny the idolatry that was fed to us by the Bible being interpreted to us as secular history and as literal, we'll be able to raise up ourselves economically and end all economic slavery. Because basically, most of our people believe in a God outside of themselves. They believe in a man named Jesus Christ over 2,000 years ago and fail to believe in the creative power that is within themselves. They fail to realize that the light of the world is the sun, as in the S-U-N, and not the S-O-N. Because there's no way a S-O-N could be born in this world before the S-U-N. Because every S-O-N have to first depend on the S-U-N. So my brothers and my sisters, it is very much important that we highlight our ancestor Abdullah. It is quite important that we get to know more about our ancestor Abdullah and what was the message he was trying to bring across to our people. What was he implying to us that will help to wake us up? Now, on the other hand, Wayne Dyer have done so much to help his people and to help people all around the world. And there are black people who will listen to these men. But if I should be honest, I have to say that these men haven't told the story 100%. They haven't told the story all the way. Because in many cases they would mention Neville Goddard. I heard them speak about Neville Goddard's book, The Power of Awareness. But very few of them will ever mention the relationship of Neville Goddard and Abdullah. So all around the world, Wayne Dyer is known, though he already passed on, he's still known around the world. But how many know of the Black Mystic from Ethiopia? Neville Goddard mentor, who told Neville to look at the Sphinx, and he would realize that it is the face of a Negro. is the face of a black man, showing Neville Goddard that he, Abdullah, knew exactly who he was, and he knew what he was here for, and what was his mission. So my brothers and my sisters, what was taken away from us has actually come back to us. The Ark of the Covenant can only be carried by the Levites upon their shoulders. This is where the Ark of the Covenant is, and we're carrying it on our shoulder, and there's only certain people who will come to this realization. There's only certain people who will come to this awareness, because millions of our people still believe in a God outside of themselves. Millions of our people believe the Ark of the Covenant is something outside of themselves that you have to literally put on your shoulder like this. But my brothers and my sisters, the real true black power is mind power. Is understanding how to create your reality consciously. Is understanding how to believe in yourself. Is understanding how to put trust in yourself. For everything in this world that was made, it was first imagined. It was first a thought. I don't care whether the inventor is a Chinese or a Japanese or a white man or an Indian man or whichever kind of man it is. It had to first be a thought. It had to first be imagined. And if you're going to enslave any people upon the face of this earth, the only way you can basically enslave them is through their mind, through their thinking. Because you can't really enslave someone physically without enslaving them psychologically. Because you're taking all of their rights away from them. And you can change their way of thinking. That is why we have to rearrange our mind. That's why we can't be conformed to the system of the world and the way that it wants us to think. But we have to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. So my brother and my sisters, this is the time for us to uplift our ancestors, to acknowledge our ancestors, to call upon them, to reveal things to us, to channel them, and to understand what they've been trying to tell us all along through the years. And I'm saying to you, my brother and my sisters, truly, Abdullah wanted black people to get a message of self-realization, a message pointing them to look within themselves, a message telling them that the kingdom of God is within themselves, a message telling them that there is no God outside of themselves, a message telling them that this Jesus Christ is a white idol, it's idolatry, a message telling them that this Jesus Christ is the devil, because when you worship Jesus Christ, you're worshiping the negative self. Because you'll be waddling in your ego. Because you'll be judging, you'll be condemning, and you'll be believing in a negative way. Because you will believe that those who don't gather the same place with you, and who don't have the same belief with you, that they're different to you, and it will all bring separation. That's why all religion is to bring separation. But we believe in oneness, and our ancestors believe in oneness, and they taught oneness, and they taught the one universal consciousness. That's why they say, man, know thyself. And that is the message from generation to generation. Know thyself. That's the reason why the Bible tells you that the name of God is I am. I am that I am. I am whatever I believe myself to be. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You can never say I am and not referring to yourself. So my brother and my sister, it's really a joy. It's really a pleasure to be out here speaking of our ancestor, the black mystic from Ethiopia, Neville Goddard, mentor. So from now on, every time you think about Neville Goddard, or every time you resonate with Neville Goddard message, remember that Neville had no message before Abdullah. And let us give respect where respect is due, because many have given respect to Wayne Dyer. But I have to be honest, I've never heard Wayne Dyer give any respect to Abdullah, our black mystic from Ethiopia. So that being said, my brother and my sisters, I hope you take something away from this, and I hope you got the message that I'm trying to bring across to you. And if it's the message been resonating with you, I'm encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to share, And also not forget to check out my description down below. Now, as usual, I want to give you the sign of enlightenment, the sign of the single eye message of self-realization, whereby Matthew 6:22 says, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. I'm saying to you, my brother and my sisters, when you have the experience, you will come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. And that is the dawning of a new day in your life. And you come to realize why the Bible tells you in Malachi 4:2 that the S-U-N of righteousness shall arise within you with healing in his wings. You'll also come to realize why the Bible tells you in Psalm 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a S-U-N. And you'll also come to realize why they had you to believe in a S-O-N over the S-U-N, when every S-O-N that born in this world had to first depend on the S-U-N. And you will come to realize that the sun is the light of the world and not Jesus Christ, a man 2,000 years ago. Now, when you come to have all of those realizations, you come to also realize that without the sun there is no life and there is no light, and without the human imagination there isn't anything made that was made, and that the sun parallels the human imagination and the human imagination parallels the sun, and that we are the people of the sun. Therefore, my brothers and my sisters, my encouragement to you is to use your mind power to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you, I'm out.